It will. Wait. What do you mean Infinity Train will return? There is going to be a full series? There's going to be a full series? Oh my god! Hello, cartoon fanatics. RJ here, and welcome to another Cartoon Corner on Infinity Train. This past week, we've been bombarded with clever locations, charming characters, and deep emotional trauma. We get lots of questions answered, and some more left over as we follow Tulip's journey on the Infinity Train. And boy, what a journey it was! From this point on, there will be spoilers for the 5-night event, so if you haven't seen Infinity Train yet, all the episodes are officially out. I highly suggest go seeing it. Most of my points on why are in my previous Cartoon Corner covering the show. As for everyone else, or if you're like me and don't mind being spoiled, here we go! Along Tulip's journey to the engine of the train, she comes across many fascinating characters. Some become her companions, like One-One and Atticus, a king corgi voiced by Ernie Hudson, and others are a little bit more ambiguous, such as the cat voiced by Janeway. Yes, I know the actress's real name, but she's always going to be Janeway to me. The voice acting in this series is so good, I love it. Ugh. Each episode presented bits and pieces of various train cars with a focus on specific ones that helped bring an issue of Tulips to light. She started the series running away from her life, and in the Infinity Train she has to face her reality and how to adapt from a situation that she has no control over. We see her struggle with nostalgia, rose-colored glasses from her childhood, recognizing the past for what it really was. She learns what she embraced in her head wasn't necessarily reality, and how her parents' divorce really had nothing to do with her. It wasn't her fault, she didn't need to fix things, and she doesn't have to run away. Yes, things were changing, but she had to learn to adjust to those changes, or be trapped in an idea of the way things were forever. These are very heavy-handed topics being presented, and the show doesn't shy away from any of them. As they travel from car to car, we see that every time Tulip overcomes a challenge related to her moving forward in her life, the number on her hand decreases, giving us a hint of the purpose of the train. But Tulip isn't the only one trying to piece her life together. Atticus is out to defeat the stewardess for destroying his land, and One-One is still in search of his mom. As we venture into more cars, we see that One-One seems to have some understanding of the controls for the various cars. Different spheres set up the land inside of each car and the creatures living inside of it, and these spheres are roughly the same shape as One-One. Clearly the two are connected, and the closer we get to the engine, the more One-One's identity is revealed. But then we get the ball pit car. This was by far the most traumatic episode. What starts as a seemingly harmless and fun quest through the ball pit car turns into literal destruction as the stewardess catches up to Tulip and her companions, followed by this large, creepy football-shaped like robot. We saw hints of the robot in the cat car, forcing the cat to lead them to Tulip, and now the two sides have clashed. The new giant robot is revealed to be the conductor, able to control the stewardess with a simple cadence, and after criticizing Tulip for leaving her car and trying to escape, it flat out murders Atticus. Dogs getting killed is one of the most traumatizing moments in a lot of family-oriented material. But no, it gets worse. Not only does Atticus die, but he then warps into one of the bug creatures we saw chasing Tulip at the beginning of the series. This scene replayed in my head so many times after watching it. I can't even imagine what it would do to the brain of a child. Infinity Train! Watch your best animal friend die in front of your eyes and then turn into a soul-sucking nightmare that wants to kill you. As horrible as this is, the emotions are presented so clearly that we completely empathize with Tulip's breakdown at the end. I nearly shed a few real tears myself. It was hard to get through. The follow-up episode, The Past Car, doesn't shed away from this development either. Although it's revealed by the cat that Atticus can be changed back, Tulip is still very distraught and harsh towards the situation. So much so that her number starts to go back up. Infinity Train! If you don't learn to accept death, you'll be stuck here forever. Okay, I'm done with that, I swear. But that's literally the storyline of this episode. Through an old tape, we learned that the conductor Tulip encountered wasn't the real conductor, but a woman named Amelia who has been stuck on the train for decades after being unable to cope with the loss of her husband. And with this newfound knowledge and realization that running is not the answer, Tulip's number drops to 0. The portal we saw at the beginning was not a portal of doom, but a portal back home. Each time it opens, a passenger of the train has come to terms with their situation and is allowed to return home to face it. But we have no time to go home now. We gotta save Atticus. Tulip is done running, and she proves her new determination to face the situation by charging towards the engine to get Atticus back. During the final episode, the last pieces of the mystery get put into place. Tulip destroys the robot running the engine to show Amelia inside of it. We learn that the engine room creates each car and the characters in it, which can go on indefinitely. And 1-1 finds his mom! The engine's his mom. He's the true conductor. Amelia overthrew 1-1 to gain control of the train in an attempt to recreate her past life in one of the cars. But thanks to Tulip, order has been restored. Atticus is revived and back to his old self, which I'm sure relieved many of us. It definitely relieved me, who was still sprouting fresh tears throughout this finale. With 1-1 being restored as the conductor, Tulip returns home to embrace her life for what it is, and we see a shorter-haired, much happier Tulip finally get to go off to game design camp, having made peace with both of her parents. A truly satisfying and, for a very emotional ride. So, I remember seeing a couple of channels speculate that Infinity Train wasn't going to be just a mini-series. But I snuffed out the idea of a full show because I didn't want to get my hopes up, and Cartoon Network has a habit of canceling shows that people like. But I am so happy I was wrong. Sometime in the future, we will have more Infinity Train, and I am so excited for that. Now, do I think Tulip would return? Probably not. Her story's been told. Her journey on the train is over. But there is still so much here to be unpacked and so many possibilities that a full series can dive into. Now we know that 1-1 is the conductor, but who created him in the Infinity Train? Are all of the bug creatures past inhabitants of the train? If so, how many were turned under Amelia's rule? What exactly is this endless landscape that the Infinity Train is always running? Is it another dimension? Is it a plane of limbo similar to the unknown? Amelia's numbers spread all across her body to show how much guilt and denial she carries. Will she ever be able to release the decades of negativity? Will Atticus return home as king, or will he assist 1-1 with train duties? If the cat knows so much, how come she didn't know 1-1 was the conductor? All of these questions are ideas that could be explored, and that's not the only thing. In the past, a lot of us have been disgruntled at Cartoon Network, just dropping loads of episodes and then leaving big hiatuses. The Stephen Bombs were certainly the ones to get the most distress, but I actually think an episode bomb format works perfectly with Infinity Train. Every year we could get a series of 10 or more episodes covering a human character and their journey on the train, and count that as a season or a one-story segment of the show. It keeps the vignettes to focus on a new character each trip, while also possibly exploring the questions I presented earlier about the train. And there can be so many different people encountering the train. You can have a foster kid, you can have someone struggling with drugs, you can have someone struggling with mental illness, identity, peer pressure. These are just a few of many difficult situations that this show could try and tackle, and if they address it as intricately as they did with divorce, then Infinity Train could be cranking out a lot of incredible and intense moments, just like the ones we went through with Tulip. There's a whole lot of potential, and I can't wait to find out what else they do with this concept. If you like this video, go ahead and put a thumbs up and press that like button. Comment below on your reactions to Infinity Train. Which episode hit home the most for you? Also, there are a lot of little details that I know I didn't completely go over, like how we see a glimpse of Amelia's conductor robot in the very first episode to hint that she was always keeping an eye on Tulip. If there's anything else that you noticed, or if there's a question you'd love to see addressed for the show, leave that down below too. This was a great week. Well, off to prepare for the next OKKO episodes now that we know the show is ending. Why do you do this to us, Cartoon Network?